Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be guiding you through the Hi3 quantitation method that we support within our SpotMap MS software, how we use it to give you relative quantitation of your host cell proteins within your population, what it is, just generally run through how we support it, what we do with it, what it means within the context of our software. So there are a lot of academic papers about this. This goes into a great amount of detail. You'll be able to find that on the internet. I'm not going to be able to go into a huge amount of detail on this video. Because you will get bored. But what I can do is explain it in the context of our software and how we support it. So you might be, if you're trying SpotMap MS or if you used other software, you might be wondering, how the hell are we getting to these numbers, these relative quants that we've got for each of our traces besides each of our known host cell proteins? How is that number derived? How can we put some stock and some faith in it? So within SpotMap MS, we support the Hi3 method. Now, there are other methods out there, and we will be adding other methods over time as we adapt to different people's workflows. But this is one of the most common, if not the most common method of quantitation. So we went for this one first. Makes sense, right? So what we do is we take the MS1 peak intensity for the three highest, most abundant peptides for each of these protein matches or the peptide matches that we've got, and we use that for our quantitation. Now, there are a few caveats in this. We will only use PSMs, so essentially hits within the mass spec that have an XIC quality of greater than 4. So you'll see here we have this idea of a scoring system based on how good we expect the match to be, how reliable the match is, how good is the match a result of a true positive, something being there, or is it down to chance? And that kind of touches on the area of false discovery rate, which I'm not going to touch on in this video, but just to let you know, we have a scoring system. We use it also in quantitation and present it to the user when they're doing the manual, peptide inspection here. So we do have some caveats over what the decision that we make using the Hi3 method, which PSMs are we going to use, the highest three intensity PSMs or most accurate PSMs that we're going to use for this peptide match that we then use for our protein quantification. So we can move through our PSMs here to be able to look at the quality of them. Now, this MS1 and MS2 intensity doesn't change, but what does is the mass error that we can see on the bottom here. This is a really good example of 8 PSMs that are really close together, so really quite accurate, and we can see the MS2 mass errors here in parts per million. So -2 parts per million is a very small difference. So this is a great example where we've used the three most kind of abundant PSMs to make this identification. Basically, that's all it is. And you can tell when you're running through your peptide inspection section of the workflow, if we've got this 3 icon with the house, this 3 inside the house icon next to the peptide match, it will show you that we've actually used this in the Hi3 quantification of this protein. So we've used the top 3 PSMs based on peak area, and we've used them for this peptide and matched it to this protein. So the result is the relative quantification that we've got of this protein. So we've used it's difficult, but we've used 3 PSMs to match this, and then all of these have been used to match this. So they're groups within each other. So the top 3 PSMs give us confidence that this peptide sequence has actually been found, is actually a match. And then the other matches around this, all of these peptide sequences, again, are all part of this host cell protein, or we suspect to be part of this host cell protein, so we can make that assumption. You can see all of them here. It's quite a high level concept to talk about. I've probably made a few mistakes there because this is the first time I've kind of talked about it. I'm not a mass spec expert. I cover all of the software that TotalLab does. This is only one of them, so I'm rapidly trying to catch up myself. But this is a really quick run through if you want to try and understand, again, the Hi3 method, how we use it, and how we use it to get these relative quant values that we've got in our software here for your report. Now, another thing I should touch on is we use relative quant. We use relative quant rather than absolute quantification because we always want to represent your results relative to your spiking protein. And currently the only quantification method that we support is you using a spiking protein that you would define in your experiment setup from here. So you would put in your spike protein, you would tell the software, the known concentration of that spike protein, and everything would be represented as a part of that within the report and the export sections. But we are working hard to support different quantification methods, all of the quantification methods that are in 1132.1, different SciLac methods, different label methods, but the Hi3 method is our current label-free quantification method that we use within SpotMap MS. But again, if you're doing a different workflow, if you've got different feedback, something you'd like to see, a different quantification method you'd like to see included within SpotMap MS, please feel free to let us know, jump on the website, send us an email, or just comment down below on the quantification methods that you're using that you would like to see applied to the realm of host cell protein quantification via LCMS. Touching on the topic of getting in contact with us and going on the website, if you would like to try a free trial of our SpotMap software, you absolutely can. Follow the link in the description below, try it out for yourself, see how it works within your own workflow. Please offer any feedback, or we also take praise. All right, until next time, guys.